I think it's pretty cool I get to share with you who's watching this video exactly what we're doing at this current time, because I'm going to post this video straight away, or maybe a day later, I'm not sure. So right now we are, if you don't know, we run a brand. It is called it's called Timeless. We work with the outsiders. That's our kind of like ICP, people we work with, and our, I guess if you want to call it a unique mechanism, it is the unfinished mission. Now, there's a lot of information because there's a lot going on in there. But essentially what we do is we work with these people who have very similar stories to me and Zach, my other co-founder, who felt like outsiders their whole life and turned this thing that most people see as, a bad thing, because I definitely did, as an outsider, someone who's a weirdo, someone who gets bullied, and turn that bad thing into a superpower in order for them to build a business, okay? A service business, to be specific. So that's what we do. And right now on our mission to scale to six figures, there's a lot that I want to talk about. And right now, my plan isn't to do more outreach. My plan isn't to get more inbound leads. My plan is to make impact, okay? So I want to bring this one thing in. And it's the idea of clothing. It's the idea of, the designs are over there, but I'll just bring them here. There we go. Design. So that kind of, that fits into the same category, but similar, but a bit different. And then also DJing. So what the hell does these three things, along with the business that I'm running, how do they all come together to enable us to run a six-figure brand? Now, brand, if you don't know, the way we define it is how many times can you say the same message over and over and over again, okay? Which means it doesn't matter exactly what we sell as long as the message stays the same. Okay, hear me out. Community is a big part. We run a community. That's the way we want this moral to be. Is induced the right word? Induced into the members, instead of, we used to work one-on-one, and we realized how powerful community and having people around us was, so we brought that inside, and that created the outsiders, okay? Community. I want to be able to host an event. Like, I've hosted events before in partnership with other people, one of my good friends, but I want to host an event on my terms. And that event, I imagine me DJing there, because the energy is going to be a bit different. The energy is going to be my event, and the way I want it to play out is that it's almost like a pop-up. I haven't actually had the time to think of this, and this is why I'm making the video, but it's going to have these couple elements inside of them. It's a pop-up, so the clothing will be there. Masterminding element, I love that. That's what we've done for the past 4 events. I love that idea of it, bringing people in, guest speaking, people connecting with each other, and then also the party side of things. That's the one thing it's missing, because as entrepreneurs, we have to sacrifice this idea of going out, drinking, spending time with people who don't give us the same energy and don't have alignment with us. But I think partying and good energy and house music is a part of a reason why I'm here today. Because the frequency house music and good music in general allows you to operate on is very, very special to me. It is, I feel like it's part of my soul. And I want to be able to bring that joy to people. But not in a way where you go out to a club and you have to drink and you have a decent night, and then for the next 3 days your routine's fucked. You're almost regretting last night. I want to bring all these elements together, okay? Because I truly believe in the power of house music. I've been listening to house since I was young. Quick story time. So I grew up listening to house music. That is the only music I listen to. My mum, she's Russian and Latvian. Listen to this. She has only ever listened to house music in her life. Like, that's her main music. She plays music, it's house music. If you come to my house, there will always be house music playing on Alexa. Like, my house is never quiet, or specifically downstairs. So that's always been ingrained in me. I didn't really like it because I didn't think it was cool back in the day. That's the only reason I didn't like it, even though I actually, deep inside I enjoyed I remember the feeling of that, enjoying the songs, but kind of just, not trying to enjoy it because I didn't think it was cool at the time. And as I got older, house music started to become more popular, more mainstream. And I started to enjoy it too. And I realized why it was so important to my life. There's a lot I can go into, but that's not what I'm trying to explain here. So house music has found me once again. You know, I've started DJing now, and in my mind, the only thing I can think of is two things. Number one, hosting that event, not obviously not only once, but doing that so I see how these things go, and we can, you know, do them more frequently, whether they're in different countries, whatever it is. And number two, my mom's dream was to become a DJ. Like, that was one of her dreams. You know, we have many dreams, but that was like one of her big dreams. And unfortunately, because she's getting older, she can't do that. Okay? Which is why I picked up that dream. And for me, I see this as legacy. The power for me to, you know, I'll get into this now. I didn't pick up the decks for a year because it was my mom's dream. And I thought, if I pick up the decks and learn how to DJ, I'm stealing that from her. But then a year went past, and I, you know, started to get back into house music as summer went along. You know, that's kind of how these things go. And I was like, you know what? I have to accept the fact that she won't be able to do it. You know, she's getting older now. I have to appreciate the fact that she's given me this life and these opportunities, and taken care of me for my whole life. And I have to fulfill that legacy. So the second dream is play in a club, a really, really special, nice club, whether it's in Ibiza, whether it's, I don't know where the fuck it will be, okay? That's not what I'm worried about. But play there, play some amazing, soulful house tunes, and have my mum there with me. That's the second part. So this dream means a lot to me. I don't want to become just a DJ. I just see it as part of my brand because I believe in house music. And before, the only way I could speak about that was through my Instagram stories, which no one cared, and use it as background music, which no one cared. So using it as this part of my brand, where I'm learning to DJ, I'll learn to produce very, very soon, where I can make music, specifically house music, part of who I am, and that's why you listen to me and watch me and want to be a part of Timeless. That's my bread and butter, man. Like, that's the cool fucking shit I want to do, you know? That's why I want to build a brand. Because it's just so... It's boring enough, you know, just selling information, not being able to speak to your customers, just selling a digital product. Cool, we have the community. Nice, we're doing the same thing, we're working with clients. That's good. Let's go a little bit deeper than that. You know, let's put in extra effort and keep it tight-knit. Perfect, cool. All right, now let's introduce the clothing. You know, use this as almost like a trophy for people who have joined the Outsiders, and we can show our appreciation to them, because I believe that you should wear what you believe in. And the reason why they're inside is the reason why they get the clothes. And now, I'm able to bring the joy and the spirituality of house music to other people. Yeah. We're making six figures this year, okay? As you can see, it's... No, fucking hell. I don't know. I think I have a meeting in an hour, I think, half an hour. But as you can see, my plan to make six figures this year is not because I want to make six figures. It just proves that I can do this my way, which I've explained to you. And it puts a number on it, because yes, the outcome doesn't matter. It's not what I'm aiming for. But I believe the impact that this brand will have is strong enough to make six figures this year. Because at the end of the day, to bring more people in, you have to have the outcomes. You have to have the numbers. Like, that's just the reality, right? You wouldn't trust me if you... Think about this. Imagine I'd gotten no client results and I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. You would not trust me enough to buy from me. That's just how these things go. Because as they should, right? If I'm going to join a program and it has all these amazing things, but you have not made a single dollar for anyone inside, I'm not going to spend a couple grand. That's just how these things are. It took me a long fucking time to realize that, because I realized that I was cool. Okay, I realized that I am doing all this crazy shit and building a brand, but I had no results. I didn't focus on my skill, and I didn't focus on the core money maker of the business, because it was so hard for me to admit that it's important. It still is. But I'm going to build around that now. There's layers below. Yeah, we can make you money. Yeah, we can make you money. but you'll also be part of this community where other people in a similar scenario to you. Yes, you're part of this community, but you get to be part of the first generation of the timeless clothing. You get to wear what you believe in. This is like a trophy, a remark for you. Nice. Okay, let's go deeper. One thing we're setting up in the new Discord right now is having an item shop. So it's not just that they get a piece of clothing for joining, which obviously is what they pay for, but you're the only one who has access to this. The people inside. Because you're making this happen. Okay, let's go a layer deeper. We host in real life events. Okay, where there's masterminds and other people speaking about topics and helping you build your business and your life. Okay, let's go a little deeper. This is fucking cool, man. This is so cool, and I just want to be able to speak about this more. That's why I'm making this video. I had no plan or structure to this video, because I've realized one thing. I just need to obey my law of branding. Branding is how many fucking times can you say the same message over and over again. That's why I'm making this video. The video is literally called... Sorry, I need to read this to you. If you're still here, I'm not sure why you are, but the video on my YouTube Notion is DJing and design while scaling to 6 figures. There's nothing under that. But yeah, that's the cool shit we're doing. And the goal of that is to bring, there'll be a certain number of people that we're aiming to. Obviously, the event space is going to be harder because it needs to accommodate masterminds. It needs to accommodate connection. I want people to sit, but then also a place for people to stand up and dance, at least for an hour or two. We're fucking... This is the coolest stuff ever. And I just... It's coming to life now. The life that I was dreaming of, the life that I dreamt of, I'm living right now. Because it wasn't about the money. Money is going to be good right now. The money is going to be great when I retire my mum and all that. That's not my main focus. My main focus is to build the things that I've just been speaking about for the last 11 minutes. Because I know I'm going to retire my mum. I know I'm going to buy the Porsche. I know that I'm going to be going to these crazy villas soon. That's not my concern. If I know that, then fine. I don't know, however, how that I'm going to be able to run this event. I don't know, however, how I'm going to market this, The Outsiders, even specifically. I'm still working on the messaging. That's another reason why I make these videos. If you want to get better at speaking, if you want to get better at saying a message within your Instagram Reels or whatever pieces of content that you're posting, make videos like these, because it allows you to explore different things that you may have been thinking of, but communicating them as a different level, because that's the real thing. There's a lot of things that I've said during this video that I had never even thought of, or I was struggling to communicate. Now I have made this video, I can now rewatch this and see what I was trying to say. Because, let's be honest, I wasn't clear there. I wasn't. But it's the power of repetition and actually saying it's fine to make a shit video, or, what I class as a shit video, in order to help me make better videos in the future. It's not about videos. It's about communicating the message. To me, these videos are going to help me speak to people in person about what we're doing, make better content, put up better story sequences, make better YouTube videos. Yeah, we're fucking doing it. Anyway, if you have stayed this long, you might as well actually just subscribe. I'm not going to ask you to like this video because who knows what even this video is. So, yeah. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Press the subscribe button. You can turn notifications if you want. But yeah, other than that, I will see you in the next one.